Alright folks, here we go, and again with my Gd'A demo game. I thought I'd pick up the next turn, show you guys a little bit of the action as I go through it. I am playing solo. One thing I do have to point out up here where the cavalry are, my units were too small. Basically, my two bases equals about a squadron. And I believe you need at least 2 or more units of squadrons to be a functioning unit of cavalry, something like that, but they were too small. So basically what I did is I rearranged my cavalry on both sides and put them as 4 bases strong. So yeah, a couple of the units suddenly disappeared from the action. But I think I've got it consolidated to about what it was. I've got a unit of hussars up there on the table, or on the hill. They're unformed. They've taken 2 casualties below them. Starting on the left are some Russian hussars, followed by some Cossacks who are unformed. And behind them is a unit in retreat of Cossacks. And they're all scattered about. They got to get rid of that retreat status. And they've taken 3 casualties. So we'll see what they do this turn. That's about it. I just had to do a little rearranging. I'm going to get to the next turn. I'll show you guys what transpires in that turn. First up is the Command and Initiative phase. We pull out our little sheet there. You'll see, boom, there it is. And the first thing you do is ADC availability and taskings. In other words, what do you want those ADCs to do? You get 1d6 for every brigade, basically. They'll supply at least 1 ADC. The French have 3 brigades, so they're going to roll 3 dice. They need 3 plus to get an ADC available for tasking. The Russians as well. They have only 2 brigades, the Cavalry and the Central Infantry Brigade. They lost their 3rd brigade, so they're only rolling 2 dice. So green for the Russians. Let's roll them. They need 3 pluses, folks. Each one is an available ADC. So 2, nope, 2, nope. French only get 1 available ADC. The Russians get 2. That's good. So the Russians might be able to do a little bit more. They can now take their ADCs that are available and send them out on tasks, do things to their brigades. Now we take a look at this right here on the play sheet. You can see all the things you can do with your ADCs. That's most of the things you can do anyway. You can boost the morale. Batteries that are low on ammo, you can task an ADC to get them back with their ammunition again. It takes 2 ADCs to do that. Basically, it allows you to replenish a brigade's artillery ammunition if brigade obeys its orders. That's another thing to point out. One thing we will do is determine, after we assign the ADCs, if a brigade is going to follow orders and start carrying out its tabletop role. And that's a separate roll for every brigade. You roll 1d6, you need a 3 plus to keep them obeying orders and doing stuff. And that's over here, I believe. If they follow orders, they are considered steady. Otherwise, they're considered hesitant if they get a roll of 1 or 2. Demoralized brigades are different. They need a 4 to 6 to obey orders and be steady. 1 to 4, and the brigade is hesitant, and so on and so forth. Brigades on infantry assault, like my Saxons, remain so. They don't need another ADC to continue that role. Infantry, unlike cavalry, they need to have this order if they're going to launch assaults, close combats, multiple charges with their battalions. So that's a very useful ADC task if you want to get aggressive with your brigade. So these are some of the things you can do. You basically assign 1 or more ADCs to these tasks. And it's quite interesting. It reminds me of ESR when you do things with your divisional commanders, or your corps commander actually. They have all kinds of different tasks they can do for their various divisions. Kind of like that. So this is pretty good. So I'm going to think about this and see what I want to do, and I'll let you know. Okay, I'm going to keep this really simple. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the ADCs for both sides. Well, let's do the Russians first. And I'm going to assign both of their available ADCs to the brigade attachment task. There should be a little marker for that. Where is it? But anyway, what that does is it allows a brigade to re-roll a failed follow orders or activation roll. Like was just mentioning there. I have these little markers to indicate that. You wouldn't show your opponent this. You'd flip them like that so they don't know exactly what task a particular brigade is under. And you can also put blank ones to fool your opponent, so they don't really know what you're doing. But anyway, Russians are going to put maximum of one ADC to this task can be assigned per brigade. So the Russians have 2 ADCs available. They're going to put one on this brigade. A little marker that says brigade. And the second one will go on the cavalry. And again, what that does is it allows that brigade, if they fail to activate or follow orders for the turn, that gives them a reroll, so it's pretty handy. And for the French as well, they are going to do the same thing. It's just a matter of which brigade they're going to apply it to. They only got 1 ADC available, which is unfortunate. And I think that would go on the cavalry up there in the hill because that's a particularly important fight going on up there. And there I just paused the camera and I placed the little brigade marker. So all is well. So they're going to get rerolls, all those brigades that I gave a brigade attachment to. Next thing we do is we roll. We make the rolls for each brigade to see if they follow orders for the turn. Let me zoom down here. We'll start with this Russian brigade. In fact, we'll do both Russian brigades one at a time. They're going to roll a D6 for this brigade. They need a 3+. And they get a 4. They're okay. So they don't make use of this brigade reroll, which is unfortunate because it kind of wastes it. But it's good to have if it's really important. Now, the cavalry brigade up there, we're also going to roll. Let's see what they get. Now, they have a brigade attachment with an ADC, so they get a reroll as well. They get a 1, so there it comes in handy. So with the reroll, they need a 2+, they get a 4. That is good. So that ADC came in handy for the cavalry. They obey orders. Now let's do the French one at a time. Well, it's kind of dark on the other side there. Start with the Saxons. They need a 3+, and they get a 6. They are obeying orders. The Central Brigade, currently with 1 battalion in retreat, they get a 4, so they are okay. And finally, the cavalry, which is up there on the hill, they need a 3+ as well. They do have an ADC as a brigade attachment. They get a reroll. And they get a 4. So I don't need that ADC reroll. So everything's good on both sides. Now the next thing you do is initiative, and this is important, and it's been a key part of this battle. I love how initiative works. Both sides roll a 2d6, and every hesitant brigade you have gives you a penalty of -1 on that roll, and the higher roll has initiative. If it's a tie, the side that had initiative in the last turn gets it. Now, there's no hesitant brigades currently. All brigades are following orders, so they both roll a straight 2d6, and let's see who gets initiative this turn. Now, the last turn, the Russians took initiative, which was quite fun and exciting because previously, I think the previous 4 turns, the French had it. So it was quite an exciting moment, and one of the reasons why the Cossacks charged up the hill against the French. And there we go. We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for the Russians, 3, 4, 5 for the French. That is decisively initiative for the Russians. So this turn, initiative will be for the Russians. They'll move first, and they will shoot first before the French. Melees are resolved simultaneously. Charges, it starts off with the Russians, the side with initiative, and followed by the French. Okay, folks, that's a little bit of the turn sequence. The next part of the turn is charges, followed by movement, firing, and then melees. And I'll get into that in a bit, folks. So I hope you enjoyed that little run-through. It's pretty much how you do the command and initiative for the turn. So there you go, folks. I'll give you one more look at the ADC tasks and how many ADCs it takes to do certain things. Here's that brigade attachment. 1 ADC. You can re-roll a brigade command roll, like I did there for the French. Maximum of 1 per brigade. Austrian, Russian, and other armies may redeploy foot artillery if brigade obeys orders. Optional. Austrian, Russian, and other may attach a brigadier. So there's a lot of and ifs and buts optional things to this, which is nice. I like that. But there you go. That's an idea of how it works, folks. Okay. I'll update another video pretty soon and show you some of the other parts of a turn. For now, that is the command and initiative. Hope you enjoyed. See you soon.